So today we are going to watch Les Brown live. Today we're gonna interview him. Comment below if you were to interview Les Brown today. What would you ask him? What would you ask the legendary Les Brown about anything, life in general, right? So it's about a 40 minutes drive from the office to UCLA. That's where Les Brown is going to be speaking live today. And it's about 40 minutes drive, and I thought I want to shoot a video driving with you, talking about what's the purpose of your life, right? So I'm going to switch this camera. Good morning, everybody. Good morning on Saturday morning here in LA at 7 o'clock in the morning. Talking about what's the purpose of your life, because if you do what you are designed to do, you'll never feel tired, man. When people say you are burned out, you cannot burn out. You are not a candle. Unless you are a candle, then you burn out. But the reason people feel burned out is because what they do and what's the purpose of their life is not in alignment. Alright, so for us as a company at Titanium Real Estate Network, our purpose is to help you achieve your heart desire. But so I graduated from school when I was 21 years old. When I was 21 years old, graduate from University of Wisconsin with a degree in mathematics. With a degree in mathematics when I was 21 years old, and basically. Then right after that, somebody gave me a book, the Rich Dad book. On that book, the Rich Dad book, it's talking about the number one skill in life is the skill of sales. Basically, how to influence and persuade people. And until that point, until I was 21 years old, nobody in my family talk about money. We don't talk about money. We don't talk about business. Nobody in my family ever owned a business. Never, ever. Basically, my mom, my parents sent me from Indonesia, go to school here in US, go to a good school, get a good job. I was about to go to NASA, work for NASA as the astrophysics. My major was astronomy. Graduate from the pure mathematics from the University of Wisconsin. But right after I finished reading that book, the Rich Dad book, then I was like, okay, I gotta start selling stuff. I gotta learn how to sell. So since I was 21 years old, so it's been a pursuit on excellence. It's been a pursuit on how to develop myself. It's to learn how to be the best version of myself. And the first thing I did was, believe it or not, I bought a whole book. I call the Rich Dad book, the Rich Dad Company, and I bought 12 books of the Rich Dad book, and I started selling that book door to door. And you know how many books I sold? Zero, nothing. And then right after that, I went to swap meet for the next 2 years. My life was, when I was 21, 22 years old, was just selling stuff in swap meet. Basically, I went to Orange County swap meet, all kind of swap meet here in LA, selling candles, furniture, basically any gifts, crafts, door to door. That's what I was doing when I was 21, 22. But I never till today, not once work for money. I always work on how to improve, how to be a better version of yourself. And I really don't feel tired. Like today, even today actually we are going to see Les Brown live. Well, what is Les Brown? It's going to be a 1 day of personal and professional growth. And as in our company now, Titanium Real Estate Network, our vision now is to help people to achieve their heart desire. We make the personal and professional growth available for everybody in our company, actually for free. We give everybody in our company access to Cardone University, which is a 24 hours a day, 7 days a week access to the number one online training platform on sales, leadership, personal growth, business development. Every single one person in our company have access to that for free, right? And today, Joseph and I, we're gonna go for one day, talk about Les Brown. But before we do that, we're gonna stop. We're gonna find Starbucks. How about that? So when people ask me, hey, don't you feel tired? Well, that's you gotta find out what's your calling, what's your heart desire, why you do what you do, right? Why do you do what you do? And then, so you gotta find out what you do. See, what we have here, we are just, you and I, we don't own all this stuff, you know, all the money that you think you own, you don't own that. Those are not yours. You are the managers of God's money and God's resources. You are just the managers. But the moment you get sticky, meaning the moment you think that's yours, that's when the problem is. So all these resources that's been entrusted in your life, your family, your job, right? Those God trusted you with that. So we manage God's resources. So it's our responsibility. If me, the way I say it is that God trusted me with all this, with the money, with the businesses, with the people in our company. It's my responsibility to manage the resources that's been entrusted to me. So that's the reason why when people say, don't you get tired? No, I never get tired, because it's not me to begin with. I'm on a mission. What's the purpose of my life? The purpose of my life is to light up the candles, to glorify God's name. How do we glorify God's name? Well, we gotta make sure you gotta be a good example of it, right? The only way you gotta be a good example of it, then you gotta help the people. But how do you help the people? You help the people by managing the resources well. So if you cannot be trusted with a small thing, and money is just an example, right? I remember when I was selling stuff in swap meet, when I only have, let's say, $500. Let's say I sell stuff on Saturday and Sunday, we sell candles, whatever, in a swap meet, $500. 10% of that money have to go for tithing. So 10% of $500, that's going to be basically $50, right? So $50 is going to go to tithing, and that's not your money. That $500 is not my money. And then the challenge is that as the business continue to grow, if you can be trusted with the small things, then God will continue to trust you with the bigger things, right? And the challenge, if you cannot be diligent with the small thing, if you cannot be diligent with the $500, with the $1,000, it's not going to happen with the bigger things. And so my challenge to you today, this morning, as I challenge you today, this morning, you gotta ask yourself, what's the purpose of your life, right? And that begins, to answer that question, it begins with one hypothesis. That means the whole universe, the whole world. God doesn't create all these people just for you. Because if you think this whole thing, the purpose of your life is for you, then everything else won't make sense, right? It's not about you, unfortunately, right? So the whole thing here is not about you. It's about. So now you gotta ask yourself, why God designed you? What's the purpose of your life? But to answer that question, it gotta begin with the right, with the foundation. The foundation is God created you for a purpose. What's the purpose? Each one of you has a talent. Some people has a bigger talent than some. For me, back then, I sell stuff in swap meet. But I gotta be diligent with stuff in swap meet. If I cannot be trusted with selling a 25 cents candles, basically that was I was selling before. If I cannot be trusted with a 25 cents candle, then I won't be trusted with a $1 whatever, right? If I cannot be trusted with $1, I cannot be trusted with $1,000. So the challenge is you gotta be trusted with the small things so you can be trusted with the bigger things. So this morning, I want to shoot a quick video as to remind you as to, hey, what do you do now? What's your job today? If you cannot be trusted with your job today, with whatever you do now, then, if you want to make 2019 be your best year ever, if you want to make 2019 be your best year ever, it starts with today. It starts with what you do now. What's your job? What's been given in your life right now? Right? Whatever job you have, there is no such thing as a small thing, because it begins with a small thing. Like for me, it begins with me selling books. It's a $12 book, door to door, right? And then when you have that $10, when I had my $10 before selling candles, selling stuff in swap meet, I get a choice. What do I do with that money? Are you working for money, or are you working to be the best version of yourself? When I have $100, 10% of it go for education, 10% go to tithing, right? So let's use $100 as an example. So $100, 10% go to education. So back then, what I did, first thing I did, I bought. This is not it, but before it's not a CD. Back then, when I was 21 years old, they don't have a CD. They have like a cassette, for example, right? So I bought Les Brown. Zig Ziglar, Tom Hopkins, cassette. So $10. Back then was a lot, and I listened to it over and over and over and over and over again until the cassette broke. When the cassette broke, then what do? When I make another $100, I invest $10. 10% of my income always goes to personal education, because it goes back for the purpose of their life. I never work for money. It's always about becoming the best version of yourself, because the money is not yours anyway. You are God's. You are managing God's resources. If you do the right thing, if you become the better version of yourself, the money will always be there. The money is a certificate of appreciation for a job well done, right? But certification of a job well done, that means, how can you deliver a job well done? Well, you gotta invest in yourself. Personal investment in yourself, in your personal growth and professional growth. That's the biggest. That's why in our company today, in 2019, the biggest investment that we make in our company is the people. And we talk about the people in our company, we talk about their personal growth and development. The biggest, if you look at our P&L, my company P&L today, the biggest expense is education for the people. I talked to you just now about the Titanium University. We partner up with Cardone University. That's a $20,000 a year for each person in our team have access to that for free. But as a company, we can only provide, but each individual person in the team has to make a decision whether they want to think. If people work for money, then obviously it's not. If you work for money, one day you'll run out, because your skill, one day you'll make more money than your capacity, then you get stuck or plateau. But if you work to be the best version of yourself, what you are doing, you're enlarging your capacity, and automatically, naturally, the money will always flows in if you work to be the best version of yourself. Right, so that's a little bit story about the philosophy. My personal purpose in life is basically now is to help more people to achieve their heart desires. And how do we do that? How can we help empower people to achieve their heart desire? Well, we use many different vehicles and tools for the consumers, for the clients. Naturally, we develop our VIP home buyers and sellers system where the clients can get their dream homes. That's different than if they were to go to our competitors. Every day when I do training in my company, I always ask the people in my company this question. If the clients buy homes from our team or from our competitors, will they eventually end up with the same home anyway? Because if the answer is yes, then we add no value to that transaction. So the difference here in our company is that when people are thinking of buying a house, we give them access to homes that match their criteria, homes that's not available online. So that's one example. And then the next thing will be for each member of our team, each member in our team, we empower them. How do we empower them? Well, we are big on personal growth and development. In fact, today, for today to see Les Brown live in West LA. I don't know who will be there, but everybody in our company who's going to Les Brown live in our company, it's for free. We pay for it, right? Because if you want to make 2019 be your best year ever, this is the basis. This is the basics. This is the basis of it. What's the purpose of your life? Because otherwise you'll burn out. You'll feel tired, right? And like I said, you are not a candle. You cannot burn out. The reason you burn out, the only reason you burn out is because you don't know what's the purpose of your life, or you haven't discovered yet the purpose of your life. I think Les Brown said that there are two best days of your life. It's the day that you are born, and the second day is the day you discover why you are here. Alright guys, share below what's the purpose. Share below what's the purpose of your life. Right? So when I was 21 years old, I was selling books door to door. I was selling candles. I was selling just gift stuff, basically in a swap meet. But when I was selling stuff in swap meet, why I was doing that? The reason I was doing that, remember at the beginning I was talking about it. I want to learn how to be number one skill in life, which is the art to influence, persuade people, sales skills. So that's what I did that for I think 2-3 years. Then after that, selling pants door to door. But the reason I do that is because how can I always on personal improvements? I did that every day. On Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I was selling it in swap meet, and then on the weekdays I go to a gift show, and people ask the same thing they asked today. Hey, don't you feel tired? No. And the reason because, well, of course, I'm sure that I feel tired, but mentally I kept on going. And the reason because, the reason I was doing that is to be the best version of myself, right? Just like today, January 2019, last year in 2018, we helped in our team now, we are responsible about, there are 70, almost 50 people in our outside sales team, 20 people in our staff team, so about 70 people that we are responsible for. But then now my job is to help them achieve their heart desire. And today, 2019, the goal is to be, our vision at the Titanium Real Estate Network, the vision is to be the best place to work, buy and sell real estate in California. And the only way to do that, the only way for our company to be the best place to work, buy and sell real estate in California is to help more real estate agents, because, right? So the vision this year is to help 100 real estate agents to achieve their heart desires. Alright guys, I want you to share below. I want to get my Starbucks here. Oh, by the way, this is my first time. I'll be driving to LA. If you are in LA, you gotta have one of this. You know what of this? Super Express. What do you call this?
Metro Express.
Yeah, this is fast, man. We're gonna go to West LA in about 15 minutes. Maybe just keep it on. Keep the live on all the time. Hey, Fiska, how are you doing, Fiska? Ask any question about anything. What do you guys want to know? And so when we talk about heart desire, you gotta ask yourself, and it begins with what's God designed you to do, and that will help you. As you put together, as you start asking yourself. But if it begins with you, then you feel tired, because the whole life is not about you. We are here designed to serve other people. We are here designed to glorify God's name. But then you gotta find out. Everybody has a different skill. You gotta find out, like, what's the one thing there, right? A couple of notes here. I've been the whole day taking notes from your sharing this morning, and one of the things that I put on a big here is that live with a sense of urgency.
Yes.
Because my life, my dream has purpose, and then we can expand it. My companies, the people that we hang out with has purpose. And one of the questions I want to ask is that here and in our company, our vision is to be the best place to work, buy, and sell real estate in California.
Yes.
And how do you keep that passion, that desire, that drive for the last 50 years?
You know what? Because, and I encourage all of you to do this, put yourself in a community of people. Like, you give me what I give you. You're fueling me now, your positive energy. That when we surround ourselves with people that are positive, people who have purpose and meaning, people who are living a productive life, that those individuals, they empower us. But most people don't have a sense of purpose. Most people are not living a productive life. They're just trying to exist. The playwright Oscar Wilde said that most people rarely live, and they just exist. And so I encourage those of you that are watching us to surround yourself with people who are on the way, because in life you're either on the way or in the way.
Yeah.
You know, that you want to be surrounded with people who want more out of life, people that are fired up and hungry.
And we talked about it before. You said that not only you surround yourself with the people that encourage you, you mentioned disassociate yourself with the negative people.
you have to. I screen a phone call. I ask, is it positive? Is it purposeful? Is it productive? Does this make sense to give my time to this now? And is it profitable? Is there something that we can partner together on and do something meaningful together? And most people don't do that. The reason that most people don't live their dreams and they're living their fears is because of the fact that they allow the interruptions of life, Twitter, negative people, circumstances, the news, a lot of television. You've got to decide that you're going to focus your mind on something that you love to do. See, because at the end of the day, you're in real estate. You love it. You're looking for ways to get better. You are not going to work for a living, but to live out making. And living your making will make your living. I was born to speak. But I used to work on the Miami Sanitation Department garbage truck, where I made probably around $30,000 a year. Now, because I'm living my making, I earn $70,000 an hour.
So how do you find that purpose? How do you like, when you are doing your previous, like, how do you find that?
You never ask how you find it. What's most important is follow your heart. Because the book of life says, where your heart is, there your treasure is also. Make the commitment. I'm going to find out, what am I supposed to do? I'm going to find out, what's the purpose of my being here? They said the most important days in our life, the day that we were born, and the day that we realize why we were born. And so finding out why you're here, it's a discovery process. I used to be a photographer. I worked for the Miami Sanitation Department. I was an orderly at University at Jackson Memorial Hospital. I sold papers, I shined shoes, I was a disc jockey, I was a state legislator in Columbus. So we evolved. And when you set goals beyond your comfort zone, in order to do something you've never done, you've got to become someone you've never been. And so the goal is to continuously raise the bar on ourselves.
That's when I first came to US. In 1995, I used to, basically sell stuff in swap meet, and today our company basically Inc. 5,000 fastest growing private companies in America. But now I came into a different challenge. How do you inspire? How do you motivate the people in your team to be aligned? Like you said, find your heart desires. One of our core purpose at Titanium Real Estate Network, our company, is to help people achieve their heart desires. But as you know, there are people, everybody have different agenda and stuff.
Well, first of all, a person convinced against their will of this is of the same opinions. The goal is to choose people selectively. The book of life says that the road to life is straight and narrow. Few there be that find the way. There are few there be that are motivated. Few there be that take the initiative. Few there be that operate with a sense of integrity and purpose. Few there be that are willing to sacrifice and discipline themselves to stay on the path. And so you have to select well. because you want to work with the willing. Whosoever will, let him work with the willing. Don't try and convince people. You want to find people who think like you think. I remember seeing a billboard that say, "We don't train our people to be nice.
Nice people.
Yes.
You don't train people to live of integrity. You choose people, work with the people with integrity.
Yes.
With the heart of second mile
And
service.
integrity is what people do when nobody else is looking. Yes.
And last question here, Mr. Brown, is that you mentioned about I'm given. Your last statement here, I'm writing it down as fast as you speak on the stage, but here, I'm given a dream, chosen for a purpose. Can you say it one more time for our friends here on Facebook?
You were created on purpose, for a purpose, with a purpose. Your job is to start finding out what that is. God asked Adam, "Adam, where are you?" Not because he didn't know, because as we know, God is omniscient, unknown, omnipresent, evenly present everywhere at the same time. There is no spot where God is not. God asked Adam the question, "Where are you? You made in my likeness and image. You've been given authority and dominion over everything on the face of the earth." What he wanted to do was for Adam to think. Life is a question, and how you live your life is the answer.
That's it, guys, with the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Les Brown here. If you have any more questions, comment below. We'll be here together with Mr. Brown till the end of today. Thank you so much for your time.